How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Factorio. How have you guys been? Hope you guys have been enjoying the series so far. It's been a really chaotic last week and a half, primarily because I've had finals and classes and things, so bear with me. I've been a little bit busy. That's kind of why the upload schedule has been very odd. I think we only had one episode of something last week or the week before, and then two really late into the week last week, and let's just say it's been rough. Okay, it's been rough. It should smooth over by next week, because at that point I'm done with classes and everything, and I graduate on the 10th, thankfully, and so then I will be done, and then we'll be on to bigger, brighter things. Okay, so anyway, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the stuff. So in between episodes, I went ahead and we set up our circuit farm here. So we're producing green circuits, we're producing red circuits, we're kind of producing blue circuits, but everything, of course, is bottlenecked by one or more things. For instance, I did not connect the sulfuric acid up here, so that will definitely be bottlenecking this. We've also been having some power issues. I have to figure out why that is. I don't know if it's a simple we just don't have enough power, or is it a case of we have enough power, but we don't have enough power distribution. You know? Yeah, we could just bring this down. And so, we need to figure out why we're having some issues. And then go from there. So let's go like that. Like that. So I was trying to diagnose it, and from what I could tell is it looked like we were having brownouts, not total blackouts. But who knows. So if we look here, like we're at 1.2 pretty consistently, almost 1.3 of power. Now we have 208 of these guys. Each one can produce 5.82 megawatts. So yeah, that's about right for how much gigawattage we should have. So I think we just need more power is the problem. However, we're kind of hemmed in here. I mean, I suppose we could tear up some of the solar grid here and chuck it like here-ish. So maybe that's what we're going to work on today, is expanding power. Another area we also worked on is we got, here, we'll be faster this way. We also got the belt area going. Now, I didn't actually end up needing as much room as I initially thought, because on our multiplayer world, I belted most of this, which is kind of a mistake. But I don't know. You tell me. It might not be a mistake for how much stuff goes into the belt machines. Instead, we're doing bots. There are literally 7,000 robots. Well, I guess there's only 5,000 robots actually in use, but so many robots. Anyway, we also went ahead, and that's all actually stuff we've previously done, just all the chemical stuff up here. Yeah, that hasn't changed. I don't think anything else has changed. I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, so we got the belt stuff going, pretty standard. We got all the circuitry going, so that's, again, pretty standard. But you'll notice this belt isn't getting all the way to the end. That's because this belt needs to be green, and we didn't have green just yet. We only had the blue. So let's actually go swap it out with blue. Or, not blue. Let's go swap it out with green, assuming we have enough green. I think the robots are probably filling all the buffer chests, which isn't ideal. Oh, crud. Yeah, we don't need, like, more than, like, 2 stacks of a thing. Let's just go through and set these all to be limited. Okay. And then, oh, these guys are never outputting. Okay. There we go. Yeah, that should cut down significantly, because they shouldn't need to all do their thing. Anyway. Oh, and I also set up ammo production here, because we're going to war. I say that. We need to take, I think, these areas over because we need to expand for trains. Because the amount of tungsten processing, we kind of vaguely went over it last time. The amount of processing we're going to need for the tungsten is absolutely absurd. So we're going to need to do that. And then we're probably going to need to take these 3 areas over. This one for all of its tungsten. This one just for space. And then this one because space up here. That's the, I think, theory. Probably also this one because this one has some coal. So quite a few areas we're going to take out. Or take over, depending on how you want to look at it. But we're going to need quite a lot of ammo for that. Now, one thing I know some people have suggested is going to Flagora and getting its stuff and things, which we are already on Flagora. But we're mainly waiting for the pink ship. And, okay, it is a beaker. It is a science beaker. I already know what the comments are going to say. It does look like that, but it is a beaker. Okay? It is a science beaker. It looks like that on the map, kind of. I got this from somebody else on the internet. Don't fault me for what somebody else made. Okay? Anyway, we're slowly waiting for this to be constructed on Novice. So that way we can have pink science flowing. It's gonna take some time, it appears. In the meantime... Oh yeah, that's right. We were gonna grab green belts. We only have 21. Because there's no tungsten. Oh, right. Tungsten processing probably shut down for multiple reasons. Yeah, there's no coal down here anymore. I mean, there is, but there's not, like, really any. That's great. Oh, yeah. So I think today's plan is taking over more areas. Again. How many turrets do we have in the network here on this planet? We have 1,000. We have 1,000 turrets. Okay. So we need to solve power problems, and we need to solve more land issues. Let's solve power first, land second. And then we'll go from there. At some point, we're probably going to tear this section of the factory up, because this is somewhat redundant, because all of our calculations were for the science and the belt. So, like, all of this up here is more than enough to satisfy this as well. So that is one thing, is we could probably slowly start chipping away at a lot of this. Because then that gives us back a lot of land in this area that we can probably use for other things. I would say we could use it. Train? Maybe we could use it for trains. I don't know, we'll worry about that once we get power figured out. Okay. So this here is hemmed in by the rail. And then... Who is texting me? Oh. Nobody important. Okay. Wow, we can barely just fit it in there. That is... That's a thing. Okay, well... I suppose we start from the right, work our way left. Okay. So then... This section of power poles needs to disappear. Not really sure what that's connected to. Oh, just trains. And then... These are in the way. But I think what we're going to have to do is we're just going to have to live and let live sort of scenario here. There you go. It was wild how accurately that fits in there. Yeah. The robots are gonna come build that. We do something like that. And now it works. Okay. There we go. Okay. So let's remove this. Looking good. We don't need to attach this multiple points, but doesn't hurt. I suppose it just wastes a little bit of resource. And then we're gonna move this guy. There we go. And now we need 1 by 2. This should double power. If I'm not mistaken, it should double power. Because let's see, how many more turbines are there? 320 are there, so that should be a little bit more than double power, huh? It's coffee time. On a little bit more of a personal note, today has been weird because it's been a little bit rainy, but like not like pouring rain, but like the subtle, like nice drizzle cloudiness. I slept in for like another hour and a half beyond what I normally do on my Sundays. It was weird. I don't know how I feel. I mean, I'm annoyed because I lost some time today, but it's whatever. I enjoyed the sleep. And yes, I had an alarm. I chose to ignore that alarm. My bed was comfortable and warm. That's usually the story. Yeah. And then this needs to somehow connect here. Guess we can go like that. Then we can go like that. And we're gonna put a massive strain on the system. Well, I can't say a massive strain, but like this should be enough. Right? Because if each one of these is consuming 60 per second, so we have 320 on the top section, 208 times 60. So at max consumption, we're consuming 30. That's actually a lot. I don't know if we have that. Divided by... We need... Not that. I think it's 8.5. 3168. 3168 divided by 3700. Yeah, we need 8.5 of these machines that we have right here. If we want every single one of them to be working at full operation, which we do. So let's go ahead and modify this segment a little bit. Let's grab a little RoboPort, throw it like there. Okay. We're just going to decouple this really quick. Okay. We're going to do this. Actually, no. We need 8.5. My bad. Okay. And then like that. And then we can do that. We can do that. Except that needs to go like this so we can actually have power and sulfuric acid together. And like that. Okay. There we go. Yeah, power's gonna be weird because we basically turned it off. But it should come back online as more and more steam. Oh. It's produced. Okay, so it's gonna brown out. Everything's gonna go to 0. We might have crashed our power grid. And then it should slowly come back online. As solar comes back online. Very temporarily. This should do its thing. It's just not gonna turn over, is it? Oh no. We almost need this on a separate grid. Actually, hold up. Maybe we can do that. Let me do like that. So that's completely isolated. And do I have... yeah. There we go. So this is a completely isolated grid. All it's doing is powering these few machines. So that way these machines are always running independent of everything else in the system. So now it's able to turn over the entire system. There we go. Because we're not at full consumption, so it's not ever going to actually fully consume things. But that way, these two machines here on the end are always able to work. That's more than enough power for what we need. Let's go ahead and grab the other turbines, get those placed, and let's see if we can make all the preparations needed before it is time to end the episode, because it is getting quite close to that time. If I don't run into pipe or on the belt. We're just gonna massively expand power here. Come on, robots. The end is nigh. Oh, I just realized it's Sunday. Well, at the time of recording, it's Sunday. Which means, new episode of Last of Us. It's kind of weird. I hate shows that... well, I can't say I hate them, because I enjoy watching them. I dislike it when a show is based off of another source material. Because what I find is either... they stick really closely to that source material, which is nice, but then it's like you already know what happens character development-wise, and stuff of that nature, and it's like, well, I kind of already know what's going to happen to that character. I know what relationship those characters are going to develop, especially if it's like a video game or something and you've played it before. It's like, well, I kind of already know what they're going to do. So it's nothing new in that regard, but I like because you usually get to see new details that they didn't explore or new pieces of information that you didn't get to see previously, which is nice. Which is something I feel like you don't often get in the original source material. So without going into any details on that, I like the show. I really like the combat scenes that they have in it. I really like I don't know, I just like seeing the action that I don't know, I feel like we didn't get enough of in The Last of Us Part 2 or in the previous game. They're still pretty good. It's the same thing with, like, when Star Wars started doing some of their live action stuff, it's like, oh, you know, that's cool. It highlights some important events we haven't got to see, like Andor, for instance. Andor is weird. I initially didn't think I was going to like Andor, but it's like interesting enough that I'm like, okay, maybe I can push past some of those things, but you know. We're gonna need more turrets. I'm gonna uncap these to 3 rows of turrets, and then I think that's what we're gonna call it for today, because we are at the 20-minute mark. So in between episodes, my goal, hopefully, is gonna be to clear out the north. We're taking the north. And then start setting up some train depots and stuff, or at least planning them out. I'm also going to look at down here because we're no longer in need of this area for the most part. We do still need to move over the foundry production and the mining drill production up there somewhere. But other than those two things down here on the end, everything else over here can go. This stuff, these three machine blocks, the carbon, the carbide, and the where that stuff is, tungsten, that all needs to go up here, pretty much. So we need to gut this. Science just needs to move up here in this rectangle of a area, which actually shouldn't be too hard. Basically probably just copy paste this, rotate it on its side, stick it here, probably perfectly fine. And then these silos can be moved up top, all the signs can be moved up top. That's probably it. And then these trains can stay there for a little bit. Because we'll probably reroute how we have the trains done. Because we have what looks to be a little bit cleaner of a route south here. Because we're also going to want to probably access like this tungsten. Because I know I mentioned it, I think we need something like 37,000. Oh, phooey, why is power dying? Because there's no sulfuric acid. Why is there no sulfuric acid? Because there's no power? Or have these just fully decayed at this point? There's no power? That's nice. Give us like a little bit. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna have to continue to do some diagnosing on these pipes. Yeah, so sulfuric acid here. So why sulfuric acid? Oh my lord. I feel dumb. I mean, I don't think that's gonna be the solution, but like, that is big dumb on my part. There's also this line that comes in that isn't going anywhere. I just realized. Like, it might have at one point. There we go. There we go. Okay, I think we fixed it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you guys did, you guys want to do smash the like button if you haven't done so already. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns for me, leave that down below. With that, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one, and peace out.